Tonight is a quiet journey, not towards something new or distant, but a gentle turning back towards something you already know well. You have been carrying it for a long time, so long, it almost feels like part of you. Here is a simple truth. Holding on gets tiring, not because you are weak, but because change keeps happening anyway. You understand this in your head. You have thought it through many times. You can explain it clearly to yourself, yet your body still holds tight. Your breath still feels guarded. Your shoulders do not soften easily. There is no failure in this. This is how humans move through change. Maybe it shows up in one small place. Just one. A role you once played with pride. At work, in family, or with someone close. You know that role is shifting now. It may already be fading. You tell yourself it is fine. You say, this is how life goes. Still, some part of you resists. It keeps rehearsing old conversations. It keeps reaching for what used to be. That reaching is exhausting. Not dramatic, just quietly draining. Day after day. In Buddhist wisdom, there is a simple idea. Everything changes, whether we agree or not. Suffering comes from gripping what is already moving, not as punishment, not as a lesson, just as cause and effect. When we hold water too tightly, it escapes. When we loosen our hands, it rests there, right now. It may be late, or just very quiet around you. The outside world has slowed down, but your mind is still working, sorting, replaying, preparing, trying to protect you from loss. You are not alone in this moment. Others are listening right now too. Different places, different lives, the same tired feeling of holding on. Some are lying in bed, some are sitting in the dark, some are just pausing between long days. If it feels right, you could leave a small note, just where you are listening from. Nothing more. Not for attention, only to feel grounded, to remember you are part of something human. In the moments ahead, we will move slowly, through simple stories, ordinary moments, quiet lessons from lived life. Nothing to solve, nothing to force. Just listening, just allowing the body to catch up. You can stay here. Let the words pass gently, like breath moving in and out. There is nowhere else you need to go. A small porch light glows beside a quiet street. An older monk sits, listening to evening insects. He remembers years of rushing between tasks, always one breath behind his own life. One night, he learned to stop early, not finishing everything, not fixing tomorrow. He placed his tools down with care and felt the ground receive his weight. Dear listener, you may rest like this. Nothing is lost by pausing now. Work ends when hands unclench gently. Peace arrives when effort is allowed to sleep. A teacup warms both palms in silence. Steam rises, then disappears without trouble. The monk once chased every rising thought, each plan demanding attention and control. He noticed thoughts fade like steam, only when he stopped grabbing them. This was not giving up. It was learning trust in passing moments. You too may watch thoughts drift. They leave when not fed. The mind settles like tea cooling, warm, steady, and finally still. San, a narrow path winds through tall grass. Footsteps slow as daylight fades. The monk recalls wanting faster progress, more achievement, less doubt, quicker peace. The path taught patience instead, every step already arriving where it should. Rushing only brought shallow breath. Slowing revealed the steady ground. Listener, your pace is enough. Tonight requires no improvement. Life unfolds without pushing. Rest follows those who stop chasing. Sir, rain taps softly against a wooden roof. Each drop arrives without asking permission. Once, the monk resisted unwelcome feelings. Fatigue, worry, quiet disappointment. Rain taught him acceptance. Nothing asked to be fixed tonight. He listened without naming the sounds. They came. They went. Unchanged by him. You may listen like this. Let feelings fall and pass. No storm lasts forever. The roof of awareness holds gently. Woo. An empty field stretches under moonlight. No tasks wait there. No voices call. The monk once feared empty spaces. Silence felt like something missing. Later, emptiness felt generous. Room enough for breath to widen. He stood without direction. The field asked nothing from him. Listener, emptiness can be kind. It offers rest, not loss. Nothing needs filling tonight. Stillness already supports you. Liu, a wooden bowl rests beside folded robes. Simple, worn smooth by many meals. The monk remembers wanting more certainty, clear answers, firm guarantees, lasting outcomes. The bowl taught sufficiency. Enough arrives when grasping softens. Eating slowly, he felt nourished, not by food alone, but ease. You too are already enough. This moment provides what is needed. Let hunger for control ease. Contentment grows quietly. Tea, lantern light, sways along a hallway. Shadows stretch, then shorten again. The monk once feared mistakes. Each shadow felt like failure. Light taught another view. Shadows prove presence, not error. He walked on without judgment. The lantern kept steady company. Dear listener, imperfections follow light. They need no correction now. Walk gently with what is. Rest accepts you fully. Ba, a slow river moves past smooth stones. It never argues with its course. The monk once replayed old choices, wishing for different turns. The river showed release. Water does not return upstream. Watching, he felt forgiveness arise. For himself and unfinished chapters. You may forgive quietly tonight. Nothing asks to be rewritten. The river carries burdens away. Sleep follows forgiveness naturally. Jiu, a modest room holds one candle. Its flame steady, unafraid of dark. The monk once feared uncertainty. Darkness felt like danger then. The candle taught trust. Light exists without fighting night. He rested eyes, still aware. The flame remained, needing nothing. You may rest with awareness. Darkness supports sleep. Gentle knowing stays awake. The body drifts safely. Sure, morning birds sleep somewhere unseen. The world waits between breaths. The monk learned endings are soft. They arrive quietly, without announcement. Day releases into night naturally. No pushing. No regret required. He bowed to the moment, grateful for simple being. Dear listener, tonight is enough. You have done what you could. Let rest complete the day. Peace closes your eyes gently. Shi, the lamp left burning. A small oil lamp burns beside a low window. Outside, the town has already gone quiet. Inside, the air smells faintly of wood and tea. The old monk sits on the floor, legs folded loosely. He is not meditating with effort. He is simply sitting, letting the night sit with him. Long ago, he used to turn the lamp off early. He worried about wasting oil. He worried about preparing for tomorrow. Even rest felt like a task to complete properly. If he slept too deeply, he felt guilty. If he stayed awake, he blamed himself. One evening, exhausted beyond thought, he forgot to extinguish the lamp. He lay down and watched the light flicker. Nothing bad happened. The lamp did not demand attention. It did not rush him into sleep. It simply stayed, steady, patient, unconcerned with outcome. As he rested, thoughts came and went. Some were sharp with regret. Some were dull with fatigue. The light did not react. It did not judge the thoughts. It did not try to improve them. Slowly, his breath softened, not because he tried to calm it, but because nothing asked him to stay tense. That night, he learned a quiet lesson. Awareness does not need effort to remain. Gentleness keeps watch without strain. Now, years later, he leaves the lamp burning. Not every night, but often enough. It reminds him he does not disappear in rest. Dear listener, you may feel this too. The fear of letting go into sleep. The sense that vigilance keeps you safe. But rest does not mean abandonment. Awareness can rest while the body sleeps. Nothing important is lost. You do not need to turn yourself off. You only need to stop gripping the switch. Sleep arrives when watching softens, like a lamp left burning, quietly enough. And in that gentle light, the night knows how to hold you. Shara, the sound of the empty road. A narrow road curves beyond the village. At night, no carts pass there. Only wind and distant insects move. The monk walks slowly, hands behind his back. His steps make a faint sound on gravel. Each step lands without hurry. In younger years, he avoided empty roads. Silence made his thoughts louder. Movement felt safer than stillness. His workdays were full and heavy. Responsibility followed him home. Even walking felt like planning. One night, unable to sleep, he wandered onto this quiet road. The moon barely lit the edges. At first, his mind raced ahead. What if this? What if that? Old conversations replayed themselves. Then he noticed the sound of his steps. Crunch. Pause. Crunch again. The rhythm asked for nothing else. He began listening instead of thinking. The road did not care about his worries. It accepted each footfall completely. As minutes passed, thoughts thinned out, not because he forced them away, but because listening filled the space. He realized something simple then. The mind settles when given one honest job. Hearing, feeling, being here. The road stretched on patiently. It did not promise an ending. It did not rush him forward. Eventually, he turned back. Sleep came easily that night. Not perfect, but kind. Now, when the mind grows loud, he remembers the empty road. He listens for what is already present. Dear listener, your night may feel long. Your mind may replay the day. That does not mean you are failing. You can listen to something simple. Your breath, the room, the quiet hum. Let listening replace fixing. Let presence do the work. The road does not demand arrival. It only asks you to walk gently. Shasan, the unsent letter. A folded letter rests in a drawer. The paper has softened with time. The ink has never been read aloud. The monk once wrote it carefully, each word chosen with restraint. He never sent it. It was meant for someone distant. not far in miles, but in seasons. Life had moved them apart quietly. For years, the letter felt unfinished, like a loose thread inside his chest. At night, it tugged at him. He rehearsed sending it many times. He imagined answers, both kind and sharp. None of them brought rest. One evening, he opened the drawer again. He read the letter slowly, not as a message, but as memory. He noticed something new. The letter was no longer asking. It had already said what it could. The need to send it had passed. Only the habit of holding remained. He placed it back gently, not as rejection, as completion. That night, his sleep was deep, not triumphant, just settled. Years later, the drawer is still there. The letter remains inside. It no longer calls to him. Dear listener, you may carry something similar. Words unsaid, moments unresolved. Sometimes peace does not require action. It requires recognizing what is already complete. You are allowed to stop revisiting. You are allowed to rest without closure. The heart knows when effort can end. Listening to that knowing is wisdom. Let the drawer close softly. The night will finish the work. Chasseur. The cup placed down. A ceramic cup sits on a low table. It is empty now, still warm to the touch. The monk remembers gripping his cup tightly. Even after the tea was gone, his hand refused to release. Holding felt like appreciation. Letting go felt careless. But his fingers cramped. The cup pressed too long into his palm. Pleasure quietly turned into strain. One afternoon, he noticed this. He placed the cup down slowly. Nothing bad happened. The cup did not vanish. The moment was not lost. His hand relaxed with relief. That simple movement stayed with him. Now he notices where he grips too long. Conversations, expectations, roles. At night, the gripping is clearest. The body holds what the day collected. Sleep waits patiently nearby. Dear listener, notice your own grip. Jaw tight, shoulders raised, breath guarded. You do not need to drop everything. Just place one cup down. Rest is not neglect. It is timing. The cup can wait. Your hands deserve rest. Shawu. The bench under the tree. A wooden bench rests beneath an old tree. Leaves whisper overhead. The ground smells of earth and bark. The monk sits there often now. He used to pass it by, too busy to stop. Stopping felt unproductive. Rest had to be earned. One afternoon, fatigue made the choice. He sat without intention. Time widened around him. The tree did not acknowledge effort. Shade arrived freely. The bench held his weight without comment. Thoughts slowed to a gentle drift. No insight arrived dramatically. Just ease. He realized rest does not negotiate. It offers itself when received. Dear listener, you may sit now. Even lying down counts. You do not need permission. The bench is already there. Let the body be held. The night knows how. Shiliu. The bowl of rice. A plain bowl of rice cools on the table. Steam fades into still air. The monk once ate quickly. Meals were interruptions between duties. Now he eats slowly. Each bite noticed, then released. The bowl teaches patience. Nothing rushes its fullness. At night, hunger returns in other forms. Hunger for certainty. Hunger for reassurance. Not all hunger needs feeding. Some only needs noticing. Dear listener, let cravings soften. You are already nourished enough. Sleep digests the day gently. Trust that process. Shati. The door left ajar. A wooden door rests slightly open. Moonlight slips across the floor. The monk once closed every door tightly. Control felt like safety. One night, he left one ajar. Air moved freely. Nothing threatened him. Now he sleeps easier, not guarding every edge. Dear listener, you may leave a door open. Breath moves naturally then. Safety does not require force. Rest welcomes openness. Shiba, the passing bell. A distant bell sounds once. Then silence returns. The monk once counted the echoes, clinging to the sound. Now he lets it pass. The bell teaches impermanence, kindly. Thoughts are bells too. They ring, then fade. Dear listener, let sounds finish. Do not chase them. Silence follows naturally. Sleep lives there. Shijiao, the folded robe. A robe is folded carefully at day's end. Creases smooth under practiced hands. The monk used to carry the day into night. Every task unfinished in his chest. Folding became a ritual, a signal to release. You may release too. The day has ended. Tomorrow will arrive on its own. Rest belongs to now. Asha, the last breath before sleep. The room grows darker. Breath deepens on its own. The monk no longer waits for sleep. He lets it find him. Awareness softens, not disappearing, just resting. Dear listener, nothing more is required. You have arrived. Let the breath go. The night will carry you. Ashayi, the window that stayed open. The window is open just a little, not wide enough for cold, not closed against air. Night slips in quietly, carrying distant sounds. The old monk sits nearby, wrapped in a thin blanket. He once believed comfort meant sealing everything tight. No drafts, no interruptions, no surprise. In those days, sleep came slowly. His body rested, but his mind guarded the edges. Every sound felt like a problem to solve. One evening, the room felt heavy. The air was old and unmoving. Without thinking much, he opened the window slightly. Cool air touched his face. Not shocking, just alive. He noticed his breath deepen. The body recognized something familiar, like standing outside after a long day indoors. Thoughts still appeared. Lists, memories, small worries, but they no longer crowded him. The open window reminded him he was part of the world, not separate from it, not required to manage it. A breeze passed through, then another. Nothing stayed long. He slept better that night, not because the mind stopped working, but because it stopped guarding. Now, he often leaves a window open, even in uncertainty, especially then. Dear listener, your mind may be sealed tight, trying to keep everything controlled, trying to stay safe. But safety can also come from openness, from letting life breathe through you. You do not need to brace against the night. Let a little air in. The world knows how to pass gently, and so does sleep. Ashara, the shoes left by the door. A pair of worn shoes rests by the doorway. Dust clings to the soles. They have carried many days. The monk removes them slowly each evening. Not as a rule, as a gesture of ending. He remembers years of keeping them on, moving from task to task, never quite arriving home. Even at night, his body stayed ready, as if sleep might require effort. One evening, tired beyond words, he left the shoes by the door. He felt the floor cool beneath his feet. Bare skin met solid ground. The body understood something immediately. The day was finished. Sleep came easily that night. Not perfect, but kind. Now, the shoes wait patiently each evening. They do not follow him into rest. They know their work is done. Dear listener, you may still be wearing your shoes, carrying the day into the night. You can set it down, even just for now. Rest begins when we stop traveling. The floor is already supporting you. Asha-san, the quiet cupboard. A small cupboard holds simple bowls. Each has its place. Nothing crowded. The monk once filled every space. Extra plans. Extra worries. Just in case. At night, his mind felt the same. Packed with unfinished thoughts. No room to rest. One afternoon, he cleared the cupboard. He kept only what he used. The rest went quietly away. The cupboard breathed again. Opening it felt calm. No decisions required. Later that night, his mind followed. Thoughts still came, but fewer stayed. Dear listener, you do not need to store everything. Not tonight. You can clear a small space, just enough for rest. Peace comes from simplicity. Sleep lives there naturally. Asha-su, the slow-turning clock. A clock ticks softly on the wall. Its hands move without urgency. The monk once watched clocks closely, measuring progress, counting rest. Time felt like pressure then, always moving faster than him. One night, he stopped watching. He let the clock turn on its own. He turned his attention inward. Breath moved slower than minutes. The body followed breath. Time softened. Sleep arrived without permission. Dear listener, you do not need to track this night. Let time take care of itself. Your body knows when to rest. Trust that wisdom. Asha-wu, the path without markers. A narrow path winds through tall grass. No signs point the way. The monk once needed markers, proof he was going right. Walking without them felt uneasy, until he noticed the ground. Each step was solid, regardless of direction. That night, his mind walked the same way. No plans, just steps. Dear listener, you do not need certainty now, only presence. Sleep follows those who stop checking. Asha-lo, the hand on the chest. The monk places a hand on his chest, feeling the rise and fall. He once ignored his body at night, pushing it to comply. Now he listens. The body speaks softly. Tension loosens under attention. Breath deepens naturally. Dear listener, you may listen too. The body knows how to rest. Let it lead. Asha-tsi, the candle that burned low. A candle burns near the window. Its flame small, steady. The monk once feared the flame fading, trying to protect it. But candles are meant to burn down. Light does not cling. That night, he let the flame be. Sleep came as it dimmed. Dear listener, you do not need to stay bright. Dimming is part of rest. Let yourself soften. Ashaba, the unanswered thought. A thought rises, then pauses. No answer follows. The monk once chased answers endlessly. Now he lets questions rest. Unanswered thoughts lose their grip. Silence grows. Dear listener, not everything needs resolution. Sleep accepts mystery. Asha-jo, the blanket's weight. A blanket settles across the body. Warm. Even. The monk notices the gentle pressure. It anchors him. The body relaxes under steady weight. The mind follows. Dear listener, you are being held by gravity, by the night. Rest is safe. Sencha, The last light, a faint glow, remains in the room. Not darkness yet, not day. The monk rests in this in-between. No effort. Awareness fades gently. Sleep arrives without announcement. Dear listener, this moment is enough. Nothing more is needed. Let go now. The night will finish the teaching. Sanshyi. The chair near the wall. A simple wooden chair rests near the wall. Its legs are steady. Its seat bears the marks of many evenings. The old monk sits there after night prayers. Not upright with discipline, just comfortably enough to breathe. Long ago, he avoided sitting still. Stillness invited thoughts he did not want. Regrets rose quickly in quiet rooms. So he stayed busy, useful, exhausted. One winter evening, fatigue chose for him. He sat in the chair without intention. His back met the wood. The wall behind him felt solid. Nothing could fall backward. Nothing needed holding up. Thoughts came, as they always do, moments from years ago. Words said too sharply. He noticed something new. The chair did not react. The wall did not judge. His body softened against their support. The thoughts lost urgency. They became memories, not commands. Breath slowed naturally. Sleep arrived later, gently. Now he sits in that chair often, not to solve anything, just to be supported. Dear listener, you may be holding yourself upright, guarding against collapse. You can lean back now. Something steady is already behind you. Rest comes when we stop bracing. Let yourself be held. Sanchara, the stream behind the house. Behind the small house runs a quiet stream. Water slides over stones patiently. It never hurries. The monk used to walk past it quickly, focused on tasks ahead, noise in his mind louder than water. One night, restless and awake, he stepped outside and listened. The stream did not notice him. It flowed without purpose, without commentary, without concern for tomorrow. His thoughts began matching its rhythm, rising, passing, dissolving. He understood something then. Thoughts are not problems. They are movements. Fighting them creates noise. Listening lets them pass. That night, sleep came easily, like water finding its level. Now, whenever the mind rushes, he remembers the stream. Dear listener, your thoughts may be loud. They are only flowing. You do not need to dam them. Just let them move on. The mind settles when allowed to flow. Sancha-san. The bowl returned to the shelf. A ceramic bowl is washed carefully. Water runs clear. Hands move slowly. The monk once left dishes scattered. Too tired to finish. Too tense to rest. Unfinished things followed him to bed, clattering in the dark. One evening, he washed one bowl. Just one. Not everything. He dried it gently, returned it to the shelf. The simple act felt complete. Something inside settled. He realized completion brings rest. Not perfection, just enough closure. Now, before sleep, he finishes one small thing, then stops. Dear listener, you do not need to finish the world. Just one gentle ending. Peace comes from knowing when to stop. Sanchasu. The room with no clock. There is a room without a clock. No ticking. No counting. The monk rests there sometimes. Time feels wider inside. He once measured every moment. Productivity followed him everywhere. Sleep felt like wasted time. Rest required justification. In this room, none is needed. Breath becomes the only rhythm. Minutes lose importance. The body knows when to drift. Dear listener, this night needs no schedule. You may rest outside of time. Sleep does not need permission. Sancha Wu, the quiet apology. The monk remembers an old argument. Voices raised. Silence afterward. Years passed without repair. The memory returned at night. One evening, he whispered an apology. Not to the person, to the memory itself. His chest softened. The replay lost strength. Some apologies do not travel outward. They heal inward first. Dear listener, you may forgive quietly. No audience required. The heart knows when peace is enough. Sanchalo, the open palm. The monk rests his hand on his knee. Palm open, fingers relaxed. Once, his hands clenched, even in sleep. Holding effort, holding fear. He practiced opening the palm. Again and again. The body learned release. The mind followed. Dear listener, open one hand now. Let effort drain out. Release invites rest. Sanchati, the path lit by stars. A path lies beneath open sky. Stars scattered gently above. The monk walks slowly. No lantern needed. He trusts the faint light. Step by step. Certainty is not required. Enough light is enough. Dear listener, you do not need full clarity, just enough to rest. Sleep walks with small light. Sanchaba, the breath that returns. Breath leaves. Breath returns. The monk once controlled each inhale, forcing calm. Now he trusts the return. Breath always comes back. The body knows its work. Dear listener, let breathing happen. You are not responsible for it. Trust brings rest. Sanchajo, the weight of the floor. The floor presses gently upward, holding everything. The monk lies down fully. No resistance. The ground has never failed him. Dear listener, the earth supports you now. Nothing is falling. Rest deeply. Susha, the final release. The night grows thick and quiet. Sounds soften. The monk no longer waits for sleep. He lets go of waiting. Awareness fades kindly. Not lost. Just resting. Dear listener, you have done enough. This moment is complete. Let go now. The night will take care of the rest. Sushiyi, the window before dawn. The sky is still dark, but no longer heavy. A faint grey rests along the horizon. The monk stands by the window. Wrapped in a simple robe, he is not waiting for sunrise. He is noticing the moment before it. The quiet hour, when night loosens its grip. Years ago, this hour unsettled him. It felt unfinished, uncertain, neither sleep nor morning fully present. His mind would return then, reviewing the past day, preparing for the next. He thought rest required clear boundaries, night for sleeping, morning for effort. But the body taught him otherwise. Some rest lives between. Now he welcomes this hour. He does not rise quickly. He does not return to bed. He simply stands and breathes. The world feels held in suspension. Nothing demanding. A bird stirs somewhere unseen. The sound does not break the quiet. It deepens it. Thoughts still appear. They feel thinner now, like mist instead of stone. He notices how the body responds. Shoulders drop slightly. Jaw unclenches without instruction. This hour asks for no decisions, no identity, no preparation. It is enough to be present, enough to feel the floor beneath his feet, enough to feel breath arrive and leave. The monk remembers a teaching heard long ago. Peace comes when we stop dividing time, when we allow moments to be what they are. Standing there, he feels gratitude, not for insight, for permission, permission to linger, permission to not know what comes next. When sleep returns, it does so gently, not pulling him down, simply inviting. He lies back down without ceremony. The body accepts the invitation. Dear listener, you may be in this hour too, not fully asleep, not fully awake. There is nothing wrong with this place. It is not a mistake. It is a resting point. You do not need to choose. You do not need to hurry. Let this moment hold you, like the sky holding first light. Rest does not always arrive suddenly. Sometimes it softens its way in. Trust that softness. Sishra, the hands washed clean, a basin of warm water waits on the floor. The monk kneels beside it slowly. The room is dim and quiet. He washes his hands at night, not because they are dirty, because the day has touched them. Once, he carried the day into bed. Every handshake, every task unfinished. His hands would curl slightly in sleep, as if still holding responsibility. One evening, an elder taught him simply, wash your hands before resting. Let the day end there. At first, it felt unnecessary. Water on already clean skin. Time spent doing nothing useful. But he noticed something change. Warmth spread into his palms. The muscles released. He imagined the day dissolving, not dramatically, just loosening its hold. The water caught no stories. It did not ask questions. It carried everything away equally. Night after night, the ritual continued. Hands learned the signal. It is over now. Sleep followed more easily. Not perfect, but forgiving. Years later, he still washes his hands, sometimes with water, sometimes with breath alone. The body remembers either way. Dear listener, your day may still cling to you. Meetings, expectations, unspoken words. You do not need to solve them tonight. You can wash them away. Imagine warm water now, moving slowly, releasing effort from your hands. Let the fingers soften. Let the palms open. The work is done for today, even if nothing feels finished. Rest does not require completion, only release. As the monk dries his hands, he bows slightly, not in thanks, in acknowledgement. The day has ended. You may end yours now too. Sleep understands this language well. Wu Shi, the book left unfinished. A book rests open on the low table. A ribbon marks the page. The monk notices it as evening settles. He once insisted on finishing every book, every chapter, every idea. Leaving a book unfinished felt careless, as if knowledge might slip away overnight. Many nights he read past fatigue, eyes burning, mind dull. Sleep waited patiently nearby. One evening, exhaustion won gently. He closed the book where it lay. The ribbon held the place without complaint. Nothing was lost. The story remained intact. The words did not fade. That night, rest came easily, not triumphant, just quiet. He learned something important then. Not everything needs completion to be safe. Now, he often leaves books unfinished, trusting return when the time is right. Dear listener, your mind may feel unfinished too. Loose ends, turning slowly. You can place a ribbon there. Nothing will disappear overnight. Sleep does not erase understanding. It preserves it. You may rest now. The story will wait. Wu Shira, The lamp on the floor. A small lamp rests directly on the floor. Its light spreads softly upward. The monk once placed lamps high, seeking clarity from above, but harsh light tired his eyes. Sharp edges followed him into sleep. One night, he lowered the lamp. Light became gentle. Shadows softened. The room felt kinder. Nothing demanded attention. He slept deeply that night, held by warmth, not brightness. Dear listener, you may lower your light too. Ease the effort to see clearly. Softness reveals enough. Rest lives there. Wusha-san. The footsteps fading. Footsteps pass outside the window, then disappear into distance. The monk listens without curiosity, just noticing. Once, every sound startled him. He needed to know more. Now, he lets sounds come and go, like thoughts. Nothing follows them. Nothing chases them. Dear listener, let sounds fade. You do not need to follow. Silence will return. Sleep walks with it. Wusha-se. The cup filled halfway. A cup is filled halfway with water. The monk drinks slowly. Once, he filled cups to the brim, afraid of lacking. Spills followed. Tension followed. Now, halfway is enough. Steady, manageable. Dear listener, you do not need fullness tonight. Enough is enough. Rest comes from balance. Wusha-wu. The quiet thank you. The monk whispers thank you softly, not to anyone specific. Gratitude loosens his chest. The day releases. No list follows. No effort. Just a soft acknowledgement. Dear listener, you may thank this moment for carrying you this far. That is enough. Wusha-leo. The breath between words. Conversation ends earlier than expected. Silence follows naturally. The monk notices the space. It feels kind. Words are not always required. Neither is thought. Dear listener, rest in the pause. Sleep lives there. Wusha-ti. The pillow's shape. A pillow holds the shape of his head, then slowly releases it. The monk smiles faintly. Nothing clings forever. Even pressure dissolves. Dear listener, let go into support. It will hold you gently. Wusha-ba. The moon behind clouds. The moon hides briefly. Light remains. The monk trusts what cannot be seen. Dear listener, sleep may hide too. It is not left. Trust the clouds to pass. Wusha-jiao. The final cup of water. One last sip before bed. Cool and clean. The monk does not rush. Completion feels gentle. Dear listener, this moment completes itself. No effort needed. Liu-shi. The long exhale. Breath leaves the body slowly. Nothing is held back. The monk rests fully. No plans. Dear listener, let the breath go. The night will finish the teaching. Liu-shi. The room that waited. The room does not change much from day to night. The same walls, the same quiet furniture. Only the light shifts gently. The old monk enters slowly, as he always does. He does not turn on every lamp. One soft light is enough. There was a time when this room felt demanding. It reminded him of what he had not finished. The letters unanswered, the plans still forming. At night, the room felt like a witness, too observant, too still. He used to delay entering it, lingering in other spaces, as if avoiding judgment. One evening, very tired, he stepped inside without resistance. He did not prepare himself. He did not rehearse tomorrow. He noticed something simple. The room had been waiting. not impatiently, not critically. It held his absence without complaint. It welcomed his return without question. He sat on the floor and breathed. The room stayed quiet, supportive in its silence. The walls did not ask him to improve. The floor did not expect explanations. He realized then how much pressure he carried. Pressure no one else was placing on him. From that night on, the room became a refuge, not because it changed, because he stopped demanding things of himself inside it. Dear listener, you may feel watched by the night, as if rest must be earned, as if stillness is undeserved. But the space around you is not judging. It is waiting, waiting for you to arrive gently, waiting for you to stop performing. You may enter this moment just as you are. Nothing needs to be arranged first. The night is a patient host. Rest begins when you accept the invitation. Liu Shi'er, the slow folding of time. The monk sits near a small table. A cloth lies folded beside him. He smooths it carefully, edge by edge. He used to rush this task, seeing it as minor, something to get past. His days were full of urgency. Time felt sharp, always pressing. One evening, his teacher watched him fold, then spoke softly. Let time fold with the cloth. The words stayed with him. Now, as he folds, his breath slows naturally. Movements grow deliberate. Minutes stretch without tension. There is no hurry inside the hands. He notices something change. Time no longer chases him. It settles beside him. That night, sleep comes easily. Not because the body is exhausted, because the mind has softened its grip. Dear listener, you may feel time pressing tonight. The past tugging, the future pulling. You can let time fold. Just for now, each breath smooths another edge. Nothing needs to be sharp. Rest is time unfolded gently. Liu Shi'er, the chair by the window. A simple chair stands near the window. Moonlight touches its back. The monk sits there at night, not to watch, just to be. Once, he filled nights with activity, reading, planning, correcting. Stillness felt unproductive. One night, he sat without purpose. The chair held him easily. The window offered quiet companionship. Thoughts appeared, then thinned. The body leaned into support. He realized rest does not require collapse. It begins with allowing support. Now, he visits the chair often, not for answers, for permission. Dear listener, you may lean too, into bed, into stillness. Support is already present. You do not have to hold yourself up. Liu Shi'er, the sound of distant water, somewhere beyond the buildings. Water moves quietly. The monk hears it faintly at night. A sound without urgency. It reminds him of letting go. Water never clings to its shape. He once clung tightly to outcomes. Sleep stayed distant then. Listening now, he lets thoughts flow past. Not following, not stopping. The body learns from water. Dear listener, let the mind flow. Sleep finds its level naturally. Liu Shi'er, the last task, set down. The monk places his tools neatly aside. Not all work is finished, but the day is. Once, he worked until collapse, believing effort proved worth. Now, he stops earlier, honoring limits. That night, rest arrives without resistance. Dear listener, you may set one thing down, just one. Enough effort has been given. Rest completes the day. Liu Shi'er, the breath count forgotten. The monk once counted breaths carefully. trying to control, calm. Eventually, he forgot the count. Breath continued anyway. Peace arrived unannounced. Dear listener, you do not need to manage breathing. It already knows the way. Trust brings rest. Liu Shi, the blanket settling. A blanket settles slowly across the body. Weight even. Comfort steady. The monk notices how the body responds. Muscles release without instruction. Dear listener, you are being held. There is nothing to brace against. Let gravity do the work. Lo Shaba, the thought that dissolves. A thought forms, then softens. No effort required. The monk smiles inwardly. This is how the mind rests. Dear listener, you do not need to push thoughts away. They dissolve when not fed. Liu Shizhou, the quiet, yes. The monk whispers yes to the moment. Not agreement. Acceptance. Tension loosens immediately. Dear listener, you may say yes too. This moment is enough. Tsisha, the night carrying on. The night deepens around the room. Breath slows. The monk no longer watches for sleep. He allows the night to carry him. Dear listener, nothing more is needed. The teaching is simple. Let go, and rest will arrive. Tsisha Yi, the quiet place between breaths. The monk lies on his side, facing the wall. The room is dim, almost without shape. Sound has thinned to a gentle hush. He notices the breath moving. In, out. Between each breath, there is a small space. Not empty, just quiet. For many years, he never noticed this space. He hurried from inhale to exhale, from thought to thought. At night, his mind stayed busy, reviewing the day, preparing for tomorrow. He believed peace lived somewhere ahead. After effort, after understanding, one evening, very tired, he stopped following the breath. He rested in the pause instead. The pause did not demand attention. It did not stretch or disappear. It simply existed. His body softened around it. The chest released its guarding. The jaw unclenched. Thoughts still appeared, but they felt distant, like sounds from another room. He realized something simple then. Peace was never missing. It was overlooked. Now, each night, he rests in the spaces between breaths, not forcing them longer, not chasing them. They come naturally when effort stops. Dear listener, you may notice this too, the quiet that arrives on its own. You do not need to hold the breath. You do not need to guide it. Rest lives in what happens naturally, between doing, between thinking. Let the pause hold you. Sleep understands this language well. Tishara, the lamp turned low. A single lamp glows beside the bed. Its light is soft and warm. The monk remembers brighter rooms, lights overhead, sharp edges everywhere. At night, his eyes stayed alert. His mind stayed sharp too. Rest did not come easily then. One evening, he dimmed the lamp. The room changed immediately. Shadows softened. The body understood before the mind. Muscles released. Breath deepened. Lower light asked less of him. It did not demand focus. It invited rest. Now, he turns the lamp low each night. Not as a rule, as kindness. Dear listener, you may soften your inner light too. You do not need clarity now. Gentleness is enough. Sleep comes to softer spaces. Tisha-san, the last sound of the day. Somewhere, a door closes softly. Then nothing follows. The monk listens without curiosity. The sound ends on its own. He remembers nights when every noise mattered. Each one pulled him outward. Now, he lets sounds finish. He does not follow them. The quiet afterward feels wide. Dear listener, let the day end with its sounds. You do not need to stay alert. Silence will take over gently. Tisha se, the weight of the blanket settles across the monk's body. Not heavy, just present. He notices how the body responds. A small sigh, a deeper breath. The blanket does not press. It reassures. Dear listener, notice what is holding you. The bed, the floor. You are supported. You can let go into that support. Tisha wu, the thought, set down. A thought appears. Then another. The monk no longer pushes them away. He sets them down gently, like tools at the end of work. Dear listener, you may set thoughts down too. They can wait. Rest does not need answers. Tisha liu. The door closed gently. The monk closes the door with care. Not locking, just closing. The day stays outside. Dear listener, you may close the day now. Tomorrow will arrive on its own. Tisha ti. The long exhale. The breath leaves the body slowly. Nothing is held. The monk rests in the exhale. Dear listener, let the breath go. The body knows how to continue. Tisha ba. The quiet body. The body grows heavy, comfortable. The monk does not adjust. He allows stillness. Dear listener, stillness is safe. Tisha jo. The mind slowing. Thoughts grow wider apart, less urgent. The monk welcomes this pace. Dear listener, nothing is required now. Basha. The night holding everything. The night surrounds the room. Calm, complete. The monk lets go fully. Dear listener, the teaching is simple. When you stop holding, you are already held. The night has grown quiet around you. Nothing more is expected. Nothing needs attention now. Breath moves slowly. On its own, the body knows this path well. You do not need to guide it. Thoughts may still drift by. They are softer now, less interested in staying. You can let them pass, like clouds thinning in a wide sky. No effort required. Feel the place where you are resting. The bed, the floor, the chair. It is steady and kind. Your weight is fully supported. You are not holding yourself up. You never were. If there is warmth, notice it gently. If there is cool air, notice that too. Everything is allowed. The day has already finished. Even unfinished things are resting now. They will wait without trouble. You have done enough for one lifetime today. Being here is sufficient. Being tired is understandable. There is nothing wrong with slowing down. Nothing wrong with letting go. This is how healing begins. Awareness can soften now, not disappearing, just resting beside you. Sleep does not need to be chased. It arrives when welcomed quietly, like a familiar friend. Let the next breath come when it comes. Let the next moment arrive gently. You are safe here. The night knows how to hold you, and you can trust that holding as you drift slowly into rest.